So there are times that we want to print a number of numbers inside this list, and for example we want to create a list, and inside of this list we write I for I in range 20, and if you print this it will start from 0 to up to 20 and create a list, and this list contains the numbers from 0 to 20 and it will print out all of the list. So let's see what happens when we run this code. So python loop.py, actually python 3 here for Linux, but if you're working on Windows it doesn't really matter if you use Python. So here, as you can see, it starts from 0 up to 19 and it prints out all the list. So this is another kind of creating a kind of a list, and it starts from 0 up to 19, and if you want to do this you can do it faster by writing just a print like this, and it will create the list in this way. So here I want to end this part for looping through the list, and I want to start another part which is sorting the list. So let's create a new file and call it sorting the list, and notice that they shouldn't have spaces between them. So sorting.py, and imagine we have the very same list that we had containing some names or strings, and when we were working with the strings we want to sort them according to the very first letter they have, and according to the alphanumeric alphabets. So it starts from A up to Z, and for numbers it starts from 0 up to infinity, wherever it is, wherever it goes. So it starts from 0 to any greatest number that we have. So here we had a kind of a list here, so it was loop.py. So we don't want to create a new list here, and we're in sorting. So first list equals this list here, and we want to sort it. So if we sort this, probably it starts from Jack, then James, then Tom and William, and by default this one has been sorted out. But if I kind of scramble this list here, so that it's not anymore sorted, it's no more sorted, and it starts from, for example, William, and somewhere in between we have Tom, and James is placed at the end. So let's see what happens when I sort the list and print the result. So let's make our code shorter and write print first list dot sort instead of declaring another variable and printing it in this file. So python 3, and the name of this one is sorting.py, and make sure you save the file and run it. And okay, we have a problem in a list. We have an extra comma, so let's save this again and run it. And there's probably a problem with this kind of writing. The problem is that there's a kind of operation on the list, and it needs to happen first. It modifies the list itself, and we do not need to declare anything or print it at a time. We're operating another function, and this is a rule in Python, and doesn't really matter. You can just print first list after the operation of sorting. So Python 3 sorting.py, and here as you can see we have the same list as we had at first before unscrambling the list, which here starts from William, but then after the sorting it starts from Jack. So here if I add another name, for example Alice at the end, and for example something like Ben in the middle, which starts with B, and let's see what happens. As you can see, it starts with Alice, Ben, Jack, James, Tom, and William. So let's have another list of numbers, and declare it in this way. It starts from 10, and then we have 2 or 3, we have, doesn't really matter, we have 8, we have 1, we have 4, 5, 8, and 4, again 4. So let's save this and see how sorting changes this list. So again, list of number dot sort parentheses and print, and inside of it we can write list of number. Okay, and here as you can see, as simple as that, we have 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, 8, 8, 10. So numbers are sorted in the sequence from the smallest to the greatest. So what if we want to change the order from the last to the first? So we have a list here that has been sorted, and it starts from 1 to 10. What if we wanted to start from 10 to 1? So we have no function for that, but we can use another function with this sorting function, so that we can have that kind of sorting as well. So in order to do that, we can use a reverse function. The reverse function method or function for the list will do the same thing for us. So after you use the sort function, you can also use the reverse function after the sort, so that we have a kind of list which starts from the greatest number up to the smallest number. So here let's write list of number dot reverse, and once we save the code and run it, as you can see here, it starts from 10, 8, 8, 5, 4, 4, 2, 1, and it's just the way we want. We can also do the same for the order of alphabets and strings, and so there's nothing hard about that, nothing fancy. So we want to find the index of the greatest number inside a very long list. So maybe manually you cannot find out how to save a code, save a list, and you cannot find the greatest number inside a list. So then the thing you do here is that you use the index method, and you also use the max function. So first you find the maximum number inside the list, and then you find the index of that number, so that you can find the position of that number. So let's try this one in our list. So we can comment the sorting and reversing functions, so that we have the very first original list of number, and using that we can write I can declare a new variable and call it, for example, index, and then inside of it we can and then it equals list of number dot index, and inside of the parentheses we're going to find the number itself. So here if I write 10, then it will find the position of 10 here, because we know the greatest number, but sometimes the list is so huge, big, that we cannot find the greatest number, and for that we use maximum of or max of list of number. So let's see if this one works. Also, we need to print this out. We have no error, but we need to also, okay, let me push this printing function before this and print the index after declaring the index itself. So Python 3 sorting.py. Here, as you can see, it shows the index of the greatest number inside this list, which is 0. So we have 10, which is the greatest number of the list. It finds the maximum number of the list max using the max function, and then it uses the method index method and finds the position of the item which is the greatest. And this is very useful. Maybe in tutorial they tell you, but using the mixture of this method and this function, you can easily find the position of the greatest number.